So in this segment, we're going to be discussing potentially the Tory party splitting if they lose after the next general election.
The Tory party is at the moment the most unstable coalition in its history because Brexit was a proxy for effectively a much more significant divide within the Tory party, which is between essentially what you might call the Farage wing. He may not be a member, but there are lots of Tories.
It's the ERG wing, the kind of Eurosceptic wing. That's the way I would describe it. Not really. I guess he's calling it the Farage wing, so it's easier for people to understand. But I think it's the kind of Steve Baker wing, the ERG. The Eurosceptics, the ones that hate the EU, the ones that want a smaller state, that kind of stuff.
Tories who share his values, and then the traditional One Nation Tories. And they have never been so disunited. And so I do think, and if I talk to senior Tories about this, quite a lot of Tories say to me, when we lose, the Tory party will break up and there will be a new party. It may be called the Conservative Party or it may not be called the Conservative Party.
I can see him. I can probably see some of them just joining Reform, to be honest. Like Reform and polling decently well. I think that's where they'll go. We've seen what's his face, Lee Anderson already go there. I think that's what we'll see. We'll see a lot more defections, I think, to potentially the Reform UK Party. How long they last for, I don't know. Douglas Carswell was one of the ones who famously joined the UKIP party as an MP, and then nothing really happened after that. So I genuinely don't know, but if the Tory party does split, which you kind of hope to see, because it kind of means it's going to be much harder for them to get into power, it does kind of lay the question of which party will take over this, kind of centre-right to right-winger politics. That's the thing I do find a bit scary, because who knows what will happen at that point. But that's why we have to hope Labour delivers, I guess, because that's the way to keep out kind of the far right, is to have a stable economy that works for the majority of people, and we just got to hope they can deliver that. But it's very telling that the Tory party know that a big split is coming within their party, and rightfully so. When you look at their party's been infiltrated by the UKIP types, and they need to do better in order to kind of keep that type of person out of their party, because that's the reason it's been hijacked. That's the reason they put in this trust. The reason that, what they did was they got one term and doomed their party into oblivion. One of the most successful parties in the history of the world here, the Conservative Party, and one term really doomed them. That fateful turn into right-wing populism really has doomed them long term now, because that coalition of voter will never trust them again. And they've lost their kind of core voter, I think. And so for the Tory party to rebuild their kind of core support, I don't imagine they can do that, because they've screwed them over massively. The farms, the rural areas, they're angry. Kind of landlords, the business types, they're angry. The average working class voter, I think they're pretty angry. At least the ones that would vote Tory anyways. How has voting Tory benefited them? Not massively. Not unless you're one of the mega rich. So I hope they do break apart.
But they say this is an enormously important moment in their history, and they have to decide who they stand for.
Yeah, I think it's over. I think it's over for them. I think they'll be like, obviously, the Conservative Party, the party that keeps the branding. But as for the rest, the kind of more Eurosceptic types, what they do, I don't know. Because we're going to see a massive bloodletting from the Conservative Party. People that have been there for decades are going to be gone. They're going to have to find a new breed of candidate. And who's going to want to stand for the Conservative Party when they're a bunch of losers? But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Clearly my cat has an opinion. And I'll catch you in the next one.